So Alexander Usyk stops Daniel Dubois in the 9th round and retains his unified world heavyweight titles. But not before Daniel Dubois had more than his fair share of success, and there was a moment of controversy in the middle of the fight where Usyk went down from what looked like a good body shot at first glance, but on replay it was actually a shot that landed on the waistband. So it was a borderline shot. But the way Alexander Usyk went down, he was absolutely finished from that shot. It wasn't in the crown jewels, right? We can be sure about that. It was right on the waistline. Now, Alexander Usyk was dropped in the amateurs by Artur Beterbiev with a body shot. You've also got Martin Bakole claiming, and his trainer manager, that he stopped Alexander Usyk in sparring, I think last year or earlier this year, with a body shot. So I think Daniel Dubois has exposed the chink in Alexander Usyk's armor. He's weak to the body. We've seen some fighters over the years who are particularly weak to the body, such as Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman takes a relatively good headshot, but whenever anybody targets that body of Keith Thurman, as some people have said, he's got a glass stomach. Maybe Alexander Usyk has got a glass stomach as well. So very, very interesting fight. I thought Daniel Dubois, although he was getting his head boxed off, right? He was getting hit quite a lot and pinged about. He kept his composure for the most part. He stood with Usyk and he was having some success even in the lead up to that low blow landing. He was starting to, get a bit closer with his shots, starting to make Usyk a little less comfortable than he normally is. And certainly after Usyk went down from that body shot or low blow, and by the way, Usyk took the full 5 minutes. He was so hurt from that body shot that when he was on the ground, his arm was actually shaking. Any of you guys noticed that? Like his body just was not cooperating at all. He took the full 5 minutes. In fact, I'd be interested to see if anybody has put a clock on it, because you're only allowed 5 minutes, and it was a very long time that Usyk took when he was on the ground. So yeah, after he got up, obviously, predictably, Daniel Dubois went for him. He had more success, but Usyk showed tremendous heart. He showed tremendous defiance. He didn't just want to come back and survive. He wanted to come back and dominate Daniel Dubois. It's almost as if being hurt by Dubois like that upset him and it angered him. Maybe he felt embarrassed having that happen to him in front of his people, this big homecoming. So he really turned the screw after he got up and after he recovered, because Dubois was targeting the body again. And Usyk recovered after a couple rounds, really started going after Daniel Dubois, really wanted the knockout. And it's testament to Usyk's tremendous fitness. Yeah, he might be vulnerable to that body, but his ability to throw shots and empty the tank and then come back and empty the tank again is really, really impressive. I mean, he must be the physically fittest, or at least one of the physically fittest heavyweights in the world. Tremendous physical fitness. But as I say, everybody's going to be looking for that body of Alexander Usyk now, because the body's more available than the head. Yeah, Usyk is so good at staying out of range and, making you miss his head, and he's very good at blocking shots as well. But if you concentrate on going to that body, you can have success against him. You can drop him. You can maybe take him out. So that's something, maybe this vulnerability that Usyk showed in this fight will be enough to get Tyson Fury in the ring. So he can stop pricing himself out and messing about with fights with Francis Ngannou. I mean, will he cancel the Ngannou fight and agree to fight Usyk in December or January instead? Hopefully, right? So, one thing I have to say, I have to take a little bit of credit. I told you guys that this was going to be a difficult fight for Usyk. And I know he won pretty much every round or most of the rounds, but he had more issues in there, physical issues, like taking punishment from Dubois than he did from Anthony Joshua. Joshua was terrified of getting hit by Usyk. Daniel Dubois said, you know what? I'm willing to take the shots to land my own. Although, one thing I was definitely wrong about is Dubois' general tactics, because I thought he was going to jump on Usyk. He didn't really do that. He did kind of stay on the outside and do what Frank Warren said, relax his way into the fight. But I thought at 233 pounds, Dubois was actually able to keep up with Usyk a little bit better. Not like he was completely keeping up, because he was getting hit, but he was able to focus on what Usyk was doing a bit better than AJ was, right? So when he did get hit, he was able to anticipate the shots and take them, and he wasn't too bothered early in the fight, and he looked confident all the way through. It wasn't until Usyk came back at him after, that low blow knockdown that Dubois started to look a little, perturbed by what was going on in there. And obviously Dubois got dropped. I think it was in the 8th round. That's when he got dropped for the first time, when Usyk really turned the screw. And at that point, yeah, Dubois' nose was bleeding. He did look a bit bothered. And then, of course, in the 9th round, Usyk came out and said, you know what, I'm going to get this guy out of here. You're not going to embarrass me like that in front of my fans. And he did the business. So credit to Alexander Usyk for getting the job done against the young, hard-punching, determined fighter who came in the fight with a lot of confidence. Usyk managed to still pull it out the bag after a major scare. Because let's be real, people, some commissions in the world would have counted Usyk out. That's what would have happened. I'm not saying he should have been counted out. It's, again, a 50-50 thing because that shot was right on the belt line. And you'll hear it with some commissions, particularly in America. They'll say shots below here or above here are okay. Many commissions will say shots on the belt are okay. That shot was on the belt, maybe slightly below the belt, but it wasn't majorly low. So it wasn't a crown jewel shot that hurt Usyk. It was a body shot. That's the main point I'm making here. The guy is vulnerable to the body. You know, everybody's got a chink in their armor. There's no such thing as a perfect fighter. And Usyk's chink is right there, the solar plexus. So that's something Tyson Fury will surely be looking at. He needs to go for Usyk because Tyson Fury is a lot taller than Daniel Dubois. He isn't at a similar eye level to Alexander Usyk whereby it's easy to get those body shots in. Because Usyk is so much shorter than Fury, I seriously think Fury needs to close Usyk down to get to his body. Maul him on the inside, you know? If you're hoping to stay on the outside and get him with a body shot, personally, I don't think that's going to work for Tyson Fury, yeah? And Daniel Dubois at 233 pounds, this might, you know, fly over the heads of some of you. Some of you may laugh and scoff at it, but I'm telling you that Daniel Dubois at 233 pounds, the way he was bouncing around, he's able to move his feet, he's able to shift in and out of range, at least backwards and forwards, faster than Tyson Fury is at this point. Yes, he is. Tyson Fury, if he's in the middle of the ring boxing with you like that, his feet are not quite as quick at shifting at little small steps. He can take big steps, but when it comes to staying with an opponent for countering purposes, right? Slipping and countering, you don't want to take massive, huge strides. You're taking little shimmies, a little half steps here and there, like short, quick steps. That's how you get it done against somebody like Usyk if you're looking to counter him with a body shot. Tyson Fury can't do those kind of short, quick steps like that as effectively as Daniel Dubois because he's too heavy. Okay, he's 270 something pounds. You know, he's never going to get down to the kind of weights he used to be at. So yeah, very interesting fight. I expected Usyk to have some adversity in this fight, and he did have to face some adversity. And even though Daniel Dubois got stopped, for my money, he did better than AJ. Okay, AJ went the distance, but did he hurt Usyk like that, even if it was body shots? Did he throw as many power shots? You know, was he as positive in his attacks as Daniel Dubois was? For me, AJ wasn't. In 24 rounds, he fought scared. He never really bit down at his gum shield and tried to take it to him, as Dubois did in certain rounds in the fight. So, you know, hats off to Daniel Dubois. Now, look, the stoppage, okay, maybe you could say Dubois quit again. You know, when he got hit with a solid kind of right jab come hook on the chin, he went down, you know, he tried to get up maybe at 9.5, Ryan Garcia style. Could you say that he quit again? Maybe he did quit again. I mean, that's up for you guys to debate. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Alexander Usyk's performance here against Daniel Dubois. I'm just watching the instant replay right here. I'm seeing Bricktop on screen. I'm sure he's going to be saying that Daniel Dubois should be the new heavyweight champion because it was a borderline shot. Will he be protesting to the commissions? Because it's going to be interesting to see what the rules of the commission are, whether that's a legal blow under the IBF, WBO, and WBA rules or not. Because it was definitely on the border, right? It didn't land on Usyk's skin. It landed on the belt. So we will see if there's any kind of protest and they try and get the decision overturned. Due to the politics of boxing, I doubt they will, even if it was legal under the rules of whichever sanctioning body, because there's far more money in it for all the sanctioning bodies if they have the unification between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I'm going to go watch Bricktop blowing with steam blowing out of his ears in the post-fight interview. Let me know what you guys think. Are you sick and tired of the mainstream mindset? Does the dogmatic conformity and pathological ignorance have you tearing your hair out in frustration? Then don't be alone. Come and join our brotherhood on Patreon. We stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. You'll gain access to my weekly topical podcast where we take more deep dives than Jacques Cousteau on an endless variety of subjects. There's also videos, interviews, live Q&As, as well as a vast back catalogue of previous episodes, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen via the Patreon app or download in high-quality MP3. Connect with myself and hundreds of other members in our Element chat group. There's no contract, no commitment, you can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a Mickey D's McMuffin. Just head to my Patreon page via the link below this video and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. I'll see you over there.